we're going to be talking about the terror barrier, because every time you want to do something in your life, every time you seek to do something in your life, it's always going to be hard. It's going to be tough. You see, when we've identified something that we want for ourselves, not something that's a goal for us, it's going to be something that you don't already know how you are going to get done. It's going to be something that you really need to stretch, something that we're going to have to grow in order to achieve it. You see, there's the German philosopher Goethe. He said, in order to have more, we must first be more. And stretching and growing, for the most part, is uncomfortable. We already talked about that. That's because it makes it necessary for you to move outside of your comfort zone. So growing is uncomfortable. Stretching is uncomfortable. You see, growth takes place outside the comfort zone, not inside it. If we are comfortable, you're certainly not growing. If you want to grow, we need to get outside of the comfort zone. And we need to stay outside until our comfort zone catches up with us. And then we create a new comfort zone. And then we get out of that comfort zone. And we do it over and over and over again. If you are going to transform Africa, that's what you're going to have to do. And you see, growth is what life is all about, really, isn't it? If you think about it, all life struggles to grow. The tree doesn't get to be a certain size, and they say, yeah, that'll do, I think. It doesn't work like that. You see, the tree starts to grow, and it grows, and it grows, and it grows. No, the owner of the tree doesn't say, okay, stop. It's enough. You shouldn't grow further. You're gonna go above the house. No, the tree continues to grow. That's how it is. Although I had someone say that if the giant redwood had the mind of a human, then they only grow to be 10 feet tall. But you see, trees don't do that, do they? They keep growing. They keep stretching and reaching the whole time they are alive. And when they stop growing, then they start dying. When trees stop growing, they start dying. You have the old saying, strong timber doesn't grow easy. Well, it's battling the elements that leads to the growth. But there is a key difference. Because for the tree, persistence is inherent in the design. It doesn't have to battle with its conditioning like all the animals do. It just grows. Now, our comfort zones can be deceptive. You know, it's tempting to believe that like our comfort zone in some way reflects our ability. But it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Our comfort zone is merely a reflection of our conditioning. Our comfort zone is determined by our conditioning. And our conditioning is really just a mass of habits and conditioned responses. And the key thing to realize with regard to our comfort zone is the reason it's comfortable is simply because we're not growing. You don't need to think in your comfort zone. In your comfort zone, you are acting by habit. You see, habits are actions that no longer require any conscious effort. They are subconscious. They are below the level of consciousness. So it's easy, it's effortless. You don't have to do nothing. And so you are comfortable. And so you see, the comfort zone is a dangerous place to be. You might think it's comfortable, but it's not. It's a bad spot. We'll talk about that. So when we say our conditioning tries to put a lid on our potential, I can actually believe we as individuals, we are driven. You know, we totally are. So think about it. If you want to grow, if you want to get out totally out of your comfort zone, if you actually want to do something great, you have to prepare to change and change and change again. You know, if we're really honest with ourselves, that there's always something more that we want to do. Always something more that we want for ourselves. Always something more that we want to be, isn't there? As human beings, we're never satisfied. We're never satisfied. There's always something more that we desire. You see, Wale Watus, in his very successful book, The Science of Getting Rich, he said that desire is the unexpressed possibility within seeking expression without, through our actions, the unexpressed possibility within the possibility. Let me repeat that. It says desire is the unexpressed possibility within, seeking expression without, through our actions, the unexpressed possibility within. That's what desire is. The possibility. So you want something, it's the possibility. What that means simply is that what we want is possible. What we want, it's possible. And that possibility is struggling to express itself through us. You know, if we only listen to it, if we let it's efforting to express itself in the only way that it can, through our actions. Through our actions. You've always heard they say actions speak louder than words. They do. In fact, I always tell my team, your actions shout so loud that I don't even care what you say. I want to see what you do. If you say you care about Project 54, then come to training. Come to training. Bring people to training. Focus on training. And when you come to training, mute yourself, because you know whatever we are doing, we are going to record it so that you can get it again, or you can share it with your team, or you can bring people to continue learning. We have to show what we say we want to do by the actions that we portray. Don't tell me, oh, I am so turned on with Project 54, we're going to change Africa. You can't do it yourself. Why do you think I come to you? Because I can't do it myself, but I know it's got to be done, and you can't do it yourself. So you got to start coming to training and bringing somebody along with you and encouraging people to go to our WhatsApp, our Facebook page, and like it and share it and let them get the same training that we are keeping on that page. Go to our website, go to our YouTube, go back and go over this training, because what we're trying to do is prepare you for what is to come. So again, like God said, it's about your action. It's your action that matters. What you want is possible. What we've been talking about is possible, but does our actions show it? Let me demonstrate what I'm saying here to you guys. Because even for myself, I didn't really get that concept. I didn't get my head around that concept at first. It took a while. And it wasn't until I watched my daughter Shade when she was young, struggling to walk, that it finally clicked into place. I watch her daily. Then I get it. And then I got to thinking, where does our desire come from? This obsessive desire to go through untold failure, pain, frustration until she finally gets what she wants. And it's not just walking. It was when she was painting, when she was talking, when she was running, when she learned to feed herself. At dinner time, it would be like, it would be a lot more convenient, a lot less messy if she would just sit down and let me feed her. But that's not what Shade wanted. If I try and I load up her fork for her, she actually prefers to take the fork, to empty it on the floor, and then struggle to load it up again herself, rather than let me help her. She'll say, "No, Daddy, I'm gonna do it. Me do it. Me do it." That's what she used to say. She doesn't want any help from anyone. She wants to do it herself. She wants to express herself. I got it. And then at no point does they even give up and say something like, "This is never going to work." Like what some of you will say sometime when things is not going your way. Or when she was trying to walk, she didn't try to stand up and fall over and try again and fall over and again and again and then fall over just one time too many and then say, "You know what? Right, that's it. I'm staying down here. You guys are walkers. I know that. But me, I'm a crawler. I'm a crawler. I'm just gonna crawl. You walk. I'll crawl. I'll crawl after you." No, kids don't say that, do they? They are so incredibly persistent. They haven't learned. They haven't learned the concept. They haven't learned the concept of failure. They don't know what that is. They have no sense of recognition for failure yet. In fact, as far as they're concerned, falling over is just something else that isn't what they want. They don't feel compelled to label it or to interpret it in a negative way. They don't make it personal. They may find it frustrating, yes, but that's it. And they keep on, keeping on, until they get it. Until they get what they want. So, those of you who are parents, or those of you will probably be able to relate to this. Even if you are not a parent, you are a brother, sister, you've seen it. You see, but children just don't understand no, do they? But the wonderful thing is, they back up their ideas with action. You tell a child no, they ask you why. Why? You see, a few years back, I took my daughter to an event where I was speaking, and we were sitting by the pool afterwards, and she wanted an ice cream, so she asked for an ice cream, and I said, "No, you're not having an ice cream. We're going to have dinner in an hour." About 30 minutes later, she was eating an ice cream. Now, what takes place in that 30 minutes is a sales master class, isn't it? They are so persistent. They take action. They have complete fixity of purpose, and they are prepared to stake everything on what they want. You know, she's more than happy to sacrifice our relationship if she doesn't get what she wants, what she needs. They are so focused, so persistent that they don't give up until they get what they want. And no is just something else that isn't what they want. They're not going to take no for an answer. And we are all just kids at heart, aren't we? Somewhere deep down inside, we all want more. But what happens is, as we get older, as we are conditioned by our environment, is that old conditioning in our subconscious mind, the mass of habits and beliefs, those things that keep us penned in our comfort zone. And our conditioning has an incredible, just an incredibly powerful effect over us every single day of our lives. But that's only half the story, isn't it? You see, the real power, the insidious power that keeps you stuck where you are, is not that obvious. You see, this conditioning will also control what you entertain up here, your conscious mind. It will entertain what you think. You see, you can think any thoughts we want, but we tend to think thoughts that are in harmony with our old conditioning. You see, the conscious mind can accept or reject any idea, but the information stored in your subconscious mind will to an enormous degree control what your conscious mind will accept or reject. Does someone earning $50,000 a year think the same thoughts as someone earning $50,000 a month? No. But can they think the same thoughts? Of course they can. But if they think those thoughts, what do? Reject them and say, no, that won't work. That they can't do it because it's not in harmony with their current results. You see, the vital bit they don't realize is that it's their old conditioning that is causing them to reject the idea. You see, our reasoning ability, our logic is actually conditioned. Just think about that for a moment. Our ability to reason, to be objective, is also conditioned. Not so much that the logic doesn't stack up, but that's too much that we select the logic to match the conditioning. And if you think about it, that will have to be true, or we all do the same things, wouldn't we? So, when we're in our comfort zone, you see, we experience comfortable thoughts, influenced by our comfortable conditioning, which lead to a comfortable actions, will lead to the same result. And that comfortable conditioning generally limits our thoughts to those comfortable thoughts. Sure, we can think new thoughts, but we tend to stick with the comfortable and the familiar. But then let's say we identify something that we want, like something that makes the discomfort or of change worthwhile, something that is not in harmony with our current comfortable conditioning. So let's call this new urge a desire. Let's call it a new goal. Let's say it's a new idea. Now, just outside the comfort zone, just like right outside the doors of the comfort zone, is the terror barrier. You see, and the terror barrier is the point where we are subject to a flow of negative, unhealthy emotions that we experience in that instant. That great feeling of dread and feeling of certainty that we are doomed. And it happens in an instant, just like that, when we think of doing something that we are scared of doing. Even if we want to do it. And you see, It's an automatic response by that body of ours. Even if we think it's safe intellectually, our body experiences this terrible feeling that convinces us that the last thing in the world we want to do is to do it. And whenever anyone goes to step out of their comfort zone, there are 4 stages that they go through. They go from comfort to reason, then to terror, and finally to freedom. Think about it. From comfort, I'm happy where I am, to reason, actually, I want more than this. Or to terror, oh my goodness, I can't do it, I'm not good enough. Then to freedom, oh, actually, I can do it, wow. Actually, you see, most people that you know never get past the terror stage. They just cycle around the 4 stage 3, but those 3 stages, they just circle around it. Let me give you an example. So here comes Hadi with Project 54 saying, how long have you guys been unhappy with your country, with Africa, with what is going on, with our direction? And yet we know that it can change, because we know leadership can change anything, can change everything. And so we decide to go on a leadership transformation in the entire country. So the first thing you're going to do is say, oh yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm good where I am. I don't want to be there. And then all of a sudden you realize, you know what? If this can be done, why can't I do it too? Why can't I get involved? No, I'm joining Project 54. I want more than this. That is the reason level. And then it gets to the terror level. And that's when you really come in and you really start doing that. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm not sure I can do this. He's talking about the entire Africa. I'm not sure I can do this. And then all of a sudden, it hits you. You get the freedom and you start thinking, no, it's not talking about Africa. It's talking about me. First, I got to make myself better. I got to become a leader. And then I just got to reflect it in my community to whatever level I want to go to. And that's how we transform Africa, one bite at a time. So, yeah, we're going to get past those stages that most people don't get through. You see, the emotion appears to stem from the activating event, whatever that is. Whatever it is we're thinking of doing, as in Project 54, for instance. The activating event, that doesn't have to be an act. It can actually be a feeling. It could be a thought. And the thought can be real or it can be imagined. It doesn't matter. You see, the body's response is the same either way. But the key thing to understand is that the body doesn't respond directly to the activating event. It responds to our belief about the activating event. I hope you get that. When we react to what we say, our body doesn't react to whatever activated that event. Our body responds to our belief about the activating event. Consider that the comfortable conditioning is made up of, let's say, a bunch of beliefs, a mass of beliefs. And today I want you to begin to form an understanding of the process. You see, seeing what's happening and in what order is it happening, because it's understanding that's a key part of the power to move forward despite the feeling. That is what it is, the understanding. So there you are in your comfort zone. You're taking life easy. And this is unexpressed possibility within you begins to bubble up inside of you. You become aware of what Emerson called that quiet voice within. And you say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I do want more than this. I don't care what the rest of you are doing. And you begin to entertain a new idea, and you begin to focus on this new idea. Your new idea. It is impressed upon the subconscious mind. And it's then that you move to stage 3. When that idea is already in your subconscious mind, that you know what, we are going to do it, I'm going to grow myself, I'm going to change my life, I'm going to become the best that I can be, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to touch the lives of many people. Then, boom, stage 3 comes in, terror. Because as that new idea is impressed upon the subconscious mind, it begins to change the vibration of your body. And this is now a foreign vibration at first. Your comfortable conditioning begins to whisper to you, what are you doing? What? Are you serious? What makes you think you can do this? Who do you even think you are? How can you transform your country? What? Are you serious about this? Now, your whole conditioning is devious. You see, it's kind of insidious how devious it is. It will do anything to talk you out of your dreams. Because if you do this, everything changes. And it doesn't like change. Remember that. It does not like change. So your current conditioning, I'm going to call it the old conditioning, because right now we are reconditioning ourselves. That old conditioning does not want you to change. It does not like change at all. So when you try to do something better for your life, that's going to make your life better and the life of everybody around you better, then that thing starts talking to your brain. It'll do anything to talk you out of it. It'll tell you, you know what? You can't do this. Who are you? Just get what you can out of it and just let it go. You are wasting your time. You can't change the world. You can't be better than you are. You know why? Because if you refuse to listen to that voice, then your life changes. Everything changes. You learn something that's going to make you better than ever. And your old conditioning is comfortable. It doesn't like change. So when it does that and that doesn't work, you know what else? Then it tries reason. The next thing, it tries to reason with you. It'll be like, look, you've given it your best shot, man. There is no disgrace in turning back now. You tried. You go to the meetings. You learn everything. The problem is nobody's listening to you, so you can't do it. Let's go back now. Let's go back now. You don't have to continue doing this. You've tried. And that's where that language comes from. When you guys are, where we will say something like, oh, I give it my best. That's what people say when they are getting ready to quit. Whenever we're getting ready to quit, we say, well, you know what? I gave it my best shot. My best is just not just good enough. In fact, there is a song about something like that. So is that comfortable zone thing within you that's reasoning with you? You see, it tried to get you out of the comfort zone, you got out. Now you get to the terror barrier, it tried the terror thing, that didn't work. Now is the reasoning thing. Come on, you can't do this. You can't do this. There is no disgrace. Let's just go back. Then, as you begin to seriously consider taking action on your new idea, this is something that every one of us has experienced. The old comfortable conditioning begins to scream at you. And it knows exactly what buttons to push, doesn't it? It knows exactly where your Achilles heels are. Don't you remember what happened the last time you tried something like this? How ridiculous you looked? I'd like to support you in this. I really would. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think you'll ever recover if you screw up this time. I don't think it's going to happen. Think about it. That is that comfortable zone thing reasoning with you. That's what it does. Now, this is not a long conversation. All that stuff happened like in a second, like in a heartbeat. Boom, just like that. And as you give serious consideration to taking action, within milliseconds, you start to worry. Doubt fills your conscious mind. That worry is experienced in subconscious mind as fear, which has to be expressed in the body as anxiety. So you see, terror fills every cell of your body. And before you really know what happened, you bounce right off the terror barrier and back into safety. Boom. Right back into your comfort zone. You know, Abraham Maslow said that when we are faced with change, we either step forward into growth or we step back into safety. When you are suddenly faced with a challenge that is new to you, it's amazing how just a simple idea can turn into butterflies, into terror, into, I think, I need to go to the bathroom. Now, when we are back here safely in our comfort zone, recovering, saying, my goodness, that was close. We don't really like to admit to ourselves that we got scared and we ran away, do we? It doesn't make us feel good about ourselves. So what do we do in that instance? We immediately begin to rationalize. We justify our action. Well, I really didn't want it anyway. We will say, I don't think the money is good though. Or I thought it was going to be, or something like that. They're not really nice people in that industry anyway. To be honest, it isn't what I really want to do. I'll find something better. Or I'm just glad I've got the courage to stand up and say, this is not what I want. Or I think a lot of people wouldn't have been able to do that. Just constant things coming to us. We just convince ourselves that our act of cowardice was actually one of bravery. And this is why a lot of us never achieve our goals. You see, we convince ourselves that we are happy where we are. And that will keep us quiet for a while, you know. But we are not really happy, are we? So, how do you break through the terror barrier to freedom? Well, it takes one of two things. Either your goal needs to be something that you want so badly, it's worth failing for, or it takes just one tiny additional ingredient, one tiny little thing that will give you the courage to step through the terror barrier. When you bump up against it, and that one missing thing is, guess what? Understanding. Understanding. You see, once you recognize that the fear is not real, you are off to the races. Once you realize that fear is just conscious awareness of the vibration that your body is in, then your life is heading in a whole new direction. You see, the whole conditioning never really goes away. But as you impress a new idea, it gradually starts to take on more and more energy. Emerson said, the only thing that can grow is the thing that we give energy to. If we feed our fear, give it energy, it will grow. If we feed our idea, it will grow. If we feed our confidence, then it will grow. We don't need to give fear its consciousness. Whatever we feed, that's what will grow. So, how do you get rid of the dark in a room? You turn on the light, don't you? You don't focus on the dark. You don't try to get rid of it. You think of light, and you introduce light. The light displaces the dark. Well, so too the confidence displaces the crippling fear. The crippling fear that stops you from achieving any great thing in your life because you think you are not good enough to achieve it. When you gain confidence, it displaces that fear. Now, it's still going to be scary to some degree on an emotional level, but it's manageable. It's manageable. If we don't feed fear, then confidence will win. So here we are again, back in comfort. The desire inside wells up, and once again we begin to give serious consideration to acting on our new idea. As the new idea is impressed upon the subconscious mind, it once again set up a foreign vibration in our body. Once again, terror fills our body. But this time, we have understanding. This time, we see the fear for what it is. Just conscious awareness of the vibration of our body. This time, I will refuse to give it its consciousness. So instead, we feed our confidence by focusing on the benefits of our goal. We still feel afraid, but understanding gives us courage. And this time, we act in spite of our fear. This time, we step forward in growth, and then we smash through that terror barrier right into freedom. And when freedom comes, that's when big things happen. So, even though we've been through the terror barrier once, the fear doesn't go away straight away. We need to continue to act and go through the terror barrier many more times before we begin to feel comfortable with the new way of doing things. And then ultimately, the new way becomes as comfortable as the old way. And once, when you get there, this is now your new comfort zone. And then you just have to do it over and over and over again. You see, Terror said, if we'll move confidently in the direction of our dream and endeavor to live in the life we have imagined, we will meet with success in common hours. God said, as you, in earnest, that seize this very day what you can do, or only dream you can do. Boldness has power, and genius locked up in it. So only engage and the mind will grow it and begin, the task will be completed. That's all we got to do. Get started and don't stop. Understanding leads to courage, and that's what we need to change our whole life. That's what we need to change the world. Courage. The courage to risk and an expectation to win with, of course, a measure of persistence. It doesn't matter what it is, my friend. When you start and you don't stop, when the terror barrier comes and you crashed right through it, when you are in your comfort zone and you say, you know what, I'm not going to be comfortable where I am right now. I am meant to do more. I am supposed to be more. I am supposed to be something that I am created to do. I am going to do it. When you cross through that terror barrier and you come into a different comfort zone, and after some time you change that comfort zone and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, you are going to be able to meet with the greatest success you've ever dreamt for. You've heard me tell the story often about Thomas Edison. You see, I love the story about Thomas Edison, my friends, because it's just a story of what could be done no matter what. You see, the reason why you can go to the wall, switch on the light by just one little switch, and all of a sudden the whole room is lit, is because of Thomas Edison. You see, Thomas Edison started working with the incandescent light. He tried 999 times and it never worked, but he persisted. He did not give up. He just kept going and kept going and kept going, and on his 1,000th try, he succeeded. You know, people go to him and people say, "Hey, Thomas, what happened here?" People say, "Where did you get the courage to keep failing over and over and over and just keep going?" And he said, "Who told you that I failed? I never failed. I found 999 ways that doesn't work and only one way that does." My friends, as I come to a close today, talking about the terror barrier, I want you to start asking yourself, what do you really believe in? Start asking some questions that pertain to your life. What do you really believe in? What do you really believe in? Can you really do this that God has placed in you?
You will now be placed into the conference. Please.
Am I still connected? Can somebody respond?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's really all I got. I just want us to start thinking. Where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? What do you have to do? What changes do you need to make your life better than it is right now? Because until you have made your life better than it is, can you make other people's life better? What are you going to do next? Thank you very much, everyone. I'm available for some question and answers for the next probably 10-15 minutes. If there are none, we can close it. But if there are questions, I want to answer it. And I want to encourage, as we are going into the new year, start using some of these lessons. Let 2022 be the greatest year ever of your life. We will be announcing through Tabitha what will be happening during the Christmas season. I'm supposed to be in Ethiopia beginning December 20 to meet with some of our commissioners, but as you guys know, that might depend very well on the situation of the war in Ethiopia. Let's continue to pray for our brothers and sisters. There are 4 countries in Africa right now that are going through turmoil. And so the same people we are working with are the same ones that we need to be available for. I open it up for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we begin to pose our questions to Mr. Day, we kindly ask that we know that everyone is very grateful for the opportunity that he is affording us. So we're going to kindly ask that your question is straight to the point, and you do not have to share all of the, your gratitude. Thank you. And Michael Carbo has our first question.
Yeah, hello. Greeting to everyone. Hello, greeting.
Greetings, Michael. You can start your question.
Hello?
Please. You can ask your question, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to ask a question here. There will be a space or a provision for someone that cannot speak or write in English, only in French, so that the person can be part of Injective 4. Is there will be any provision for that individual? Hello?
Well, I hear your question. That is absolutely, there is space for everyone. Let me tell you guys something some of you might not know. Africa, well, most of you will know, but just for the for some who might not. In Africa, we have right now, when you talk about major languages, in fact, when United Nations have meetings or African Union have meetings, in Africa, you have to have somebody to translate Portuguese, French, Arabic, English. And if you want to think of what other languages that's out there. So we are not going to exclude anyone. There's going to be opportunity for them. You are going to be the ones who do that work because you speak French. You also speak English. So when it gets to a point, if we have to translate some of our materials into some local languages, we will do that locally at that point. But yes, there will be opportunity for everybody to participate. It might eventually be through a translation service, or it might be through what you do within your group. After all, it's all about training and regrouping and retraining. Thank you very much, Michael.
Our next question.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, you may proceed with the question.
Yeah, of course, my question is with regard the application documents, because I was trying to complete it on a soft copy basis, but it's a bit difficult in a sense. You've already positioned all the areas that someone needs to complete. So I was just trying to ask whether we can still print it out, complete it, hard copy, scan and send.
Amos, I don't want to interrupt you, but that is something we can ask offline of Tabitha. I don't want us to waste each other's time by bringing up things that are administratively can be handled offline to everybody. That's one of the reasons why I ask people not to post pictures and videos on the WhatsApp, so that we don't, because there are other people who are going to come along, they don't have data, they want to do this, and then because they are part of our group, they have to use up all their data for something else. So ask Tabitha that online. I want questions specific to the terror barrier or to any of the other lessons that we taught, or what you are doing with that. Thank you very much, everyone.